we're amongst the African countries that are going for elections.
Yeah.
Have you decided?
And right now, when someone talks to me, please don't talk to me. Don't come here if you're not registered to vote. Because you have no leg to stand on. You can't even argue about anything.
Yeah.
So I hope people are voting.
Mine are crime.
Yes.
Health.
Yes.
Education.
Yes.
Load shedding.
If you don't drink good water or healthy water, then you get sick.
Yes.
Then you go and stand in a queue at a hospital that is non-functional or that is not properly
equipped with staff and resources. Yeah.
Okay. Imagine having to wait for more than 20 years for something that might or might not happen. My thing, which is something that will always leave me single for the rest of my life.
Are we so desperate to have a man that we're just willing to grab anything as long as it's a man and it's breathing and it's warm?
Father.
You know what I mean? Like, you're thinking, what? Hello? How are you? Literally, this is a starting.
I am happy. How are you, Ms.
I'm very well.
Yes,
I'm very well. We've got Rami Chuene in the house, my good friend. And she's literally just joining us for a chat, hey? Like, there's absolutely nothing. No agenda, no pre-preparations, nothing. You just hear.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Let's see how far it goes. Let's literally see how far it goes. How's it going these days?
Wow, it's a new year. What can we say? We're looking forward to amazing things. So let's see what it looks like.
How's 2024?
It was a slow start, but surely things are starting to fall into place a bit.
You're just saying now, right? Today, actually, we're shooting today, which is Valentine's Day.
Yes.
And when I looked at, is it? I don't see it. Is it?
No, I know you. No. You won't see it,
but you know.
I want it's because I know.
Yeah.
My skin is flawless, right?
Yeah.
So even if I get like a little dot, I see it.
You see it. So you might keep pule letabo.
Pulem disetladi and
Ndala.
So I've got 4 little. They're not even pimples. I don't even know what to call them. But because I'm so. I look at my skin and I'm so pedantic. Yes, exactly. So I see them.
You see them?
Yes.
I hope you get lovely roses later today.
It's
early morning.
It is early morning, but I don't know.
I'll send you roses.
Hey? That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, there's that thing that they like on TikTok with that video. Someone's going, about a month ago. And then the question is, Valentine's is coming.
Is it?
Where is your boyfriend? Yeah. I get that every year.
Every year.
I don't deliver. Sorry.
But your boyfriend's a Valentine's Day is serious in any case.
Exactly. But now you see, you mustn't get a boyfriend because of Valentine's.
Yes. After
December. Valentine's, then what am I going to do with him on the 15th?
But Chatakibo. That therein is the problem because
there lies the danger.
Therein. You know what the danger is? I'm so happy you're here, man.
Yeah, me too.
It's a big year for us.
Yes.
I think we're amongst the African countries that are going for elections.
Yeah.
Have you decided?
Yeah, who to vote for?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I know you would vote.
I started voting when we started voting.
Exactly. No, you're very responsible.
And right now when someone talks to me, please don't talk to me. Don't come here if you're not registered to vote. Because you have no leg to stand on. You can't even argue about anything.
Yeah.
So I hope people are voting. I've registered to vote. It's important. We have to vote.
We have to vote.
Yeah.
And you absolutely have to vote.
Yeah.
I don't care for whom.
Yeah.
But it is critical that you vote. Have you decided for whom?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, already?
Yes.
So a little bit, which is normal.
Which is normal.
So a friend of mine who was actually my previous coach said to me when we were talking about this and said to me, I must find 5 issues I absolutely care about.
Yeah.
And find somebody, because there's I think hundreds of political parties that register. Yeah. South Africa is a bit abnormal like that.
Yeah.
But apparently I need to find 5, which makes sense, right?
Yes.
And then decide who speaks to those issues.
Yeah.
Mine are crime.
Yes.
Health.
Yes.
Education.
Yes.
Load shedding. Blackouts. And load shedding is not number one because I've since found alternative power.
Yeah.
But everybody else around me
Yeah.
is, so it is definitely crime, my number one.
Mm-hmm.
My number two is health.
Health.
The health system in South Africa bothers me. I'm not worried about the NHI or NHS. I don't think
those
that
policies and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that, but I'm just worried about the fact that my aunts can't access the public health system, and it puts a burden on all of us because we must now. You know what I mean? My uncle, not everybody is on medical aid, so it's education.
Yeah.
Load shedding, which is blackouts.
Mm-hmm.
I have 5. And what else? I would say service delivery in terms of water. Here in Joburg, we struggle with water a lot.
Yeah.
Those are my 5. What are yours?
In fact, all of those, definitely. But I mean, obviously, my very first one would be education, because education filters to all of them. It speaks to all of them. Because if we have young people who are educated and they actually get employed, employment also is a big issue.
You deal with the crime things.
Then you're able to deal with the crime. You're able to deal with the health. There are innovative ways to deal with power outages. Yes, I know we want electricity, but we must now find alternative means of power supply and generating power without having to rely on the normal, conservative system, ESCOM. And when we do that, then it's easy now to tackle issues like water and sanitation. I mean, with my foundation, we do a lot of work with different schools, and right now our biggest passion is to find people who will be able to help us build toilets at schools.
Yeah.
We actually donated 20 schools a few weeks ago, 20 toilets to a school, a few weeks ago, and 10 for girls, 10 for boys.
10 for boys, yeah.
But the issue was that they actually had 4
pit
toilets. And this is 4 pit toilets that are servicing 1,600. 1.6.
Is it
It's in next guy, Kululekani.
Okay.
Yeah, this is like outside Palabora.
Okay.
Yeah, Palabora side. And that is not the only school.
Yeah.
So education is affected because, first of all, girls can't go to school because they don't have pads.
Yes.
And when they are on their period, then they stay out of school.
Yes.
And even if they've got pads, there is no system that will accommodate sanitary pads, for instance. And when you need to use the bathroom, you're number 200 in a queue for a break that's going to take 40 minutes. So what do they do then? They end up walking home.
I get it.
And then after you walk home, how are you going to come back?
No.
Exactly.
It's and usually you would have walked long distances to get to school.
Yeah. And water is important.
And water.
Yeah, water is important because if you don't drink good water or healthy water, then you get sick.
Yes.
Then you go and stand in a queue at a hospital that is non-functional or that is not properly
equipped with staff and resources. Yeah.
Okay. So your health is affected.
Yeah.
Your education is affected. All of them, they intertwine, they go hand in
Everything
hand.
Everything is connected.
There's some people that need basic things that, trust me, electricity is the last thing on their minds.
Are you? Yeah, sure.
Yeah. People just want water. People just want clean water. People want toilets that work. People want access to schools. This whole thing of kids having to cross a river and risk drowning because they're trying to get to school. They're thirsty and hungry for education. If they didn't, they wouldn't be having students crossing the river trying to go to school. And then people, South Africans are lazy. No, South Africans are not lazy. We just don't have readily accessible resources and amenities to accommodate what we want to do.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And I think that a lot of us who live within a particular prism of society.
Yeah.
Like I'm telling you, Mina, my biggest worry now is exactly that, is those, and I never actually thought it was, you take it for granted that you just can pop into Woolies and buy water.
Yeah.
There's somebody who can't do that.
No, not at all.
You know, not that there's no Woolies. There is no money to go buy water.
Yeah.
To go have buy drinking water. Because I think since the Hammerskraal incident, very few people are brave enough to drink tap water.
Yeah.
In Gauteng.
I don't even drink tap water.
That's what I mean. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
We all afraid.
Yeah.
We all very afraid. Yeah. I even think twice before I have to put for my pet, because what would happen? You know what I mean? And there's people who don't have...
Exactly. They don't have the access and the it's just that. But, you know?
Where did we go wrong that we could all be South Africans and live such extremes, you know? Like, I don't have to worry about water. I'm blessed enough to do that.
Yeah.
But there's actually somebody who, it is their number one thought. They can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Is it a government failure? Have we failed to help enough people who come after us? Because I look around, Rami, and I'm thinking, I don't know what more I can do. You know, you know what you do. You run your foundation, you do this, you do this. Is there more that we can do? Because I think we're all doing that, but we're just so stretched. What more can we do?
It's funny you should ask that, because my foundation, our tagline is do good where you are.
Yeah, okay.
And I think we must just start small. And I think what gets us being overwhelmed and not being able to do stuff is because the need is so big that you think that your 2 rand is not going to contribute towards the 2,000 that is needed. But what is it that you can do with the 2 rand?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So start small.
Start with, in your area.
In your area.
Corner.
In your corner. It can be church, it can be a hospice, it can something. Okay. You know? You don't have to deliver boxes and boxes of sanitary pads.
You don't have to build a school. You don't
need to build a school.
Toilets.
But
the foundation, toilet papers.
Send toilet paper.
When you buy sanitary towels, buy one.
You know, and we can even, like, for different schools, for instance, or different communities, people can club in and let's get a certain system going. Like, let's get a Jojo tank.
Yes.
Okay. And let's get a filtering water system.
Because we have rains. If there's one thing that is climate change,
we've
brought
got
abnormal rains.
So much rain. Yeah. Exactly. But the people that need water most, that's where
the damage with the water
exactly is. You know, and we cannot ignore the dynamics of the society difference, like your lowest of your low and to your highest of your high. Funny enough, I was speaking to Wendy now just before we started doing recording, and we're just talking about the Western Cape. We're talking about Cape Town and the difference between the high end of Cape Town, of the Western Cape, and the lowest end of the Western Cape.
Within 30 minutes of each other.
Exactly. You see it when you land, as the plane is landing.
Have you seen the difference?
The difference.
It goes.
You see it because then you're like,
then you think it can't go any worse. And then, oh my gosh.
Yes. It is that.
You literally go through
every time.
Until just before you land, you cross the highway and you're like, wow, seen it all.
It's over. That's how you basically analyze.
But I think it's like that in Gauteng, yes.
It's
because
like
you think about it
everywhere.
Yeah, because it's just
the road.
It's just a road.
Yeah,
you know,
it is
from the richest square mile in Africa.
Yeah,
across the road.
Then you've got Alex.
You've got Alex.
Absolutely. It is crazy. It
is absolutely crazy. And I think like every government spokesperson says, when it comes to crime, when it comes to everything else, we must also do our part. But some of us are thinking, what more can we do? And you're right. I get it. I must do my best where I am.
Yeah. Just do your best where you are.
Just do your best where you are. Otherwise, the problem just becomes so overwhelming that
you end up not doing anything.
That you end up not doing anything because it does.
It paralyzes you, and you're just like, I don't think I'm going to make a difference. But can you imagine if each and every South African was to do a little bit? Because this is a community thing, guys. We grew up doing it. When I've got 10 tomatoes and you've got 10 onions and someone has bunches of spinach, we do that thing. I'm going to give you 2 tomatoes, you're going to give me 2 onions, she's going to give me some spinach, then someone is going to come gabubi, and all of that. It was so easy to say, go ask for salt next door, go ask for pepper next door.
But apparently they don't do that.
No, we don't.
Apparently they don't do that. I thought we lost it when we moved to suburbia and stuff. Apparently, our original guests, apparently they don't do it anymore because abantu abadala abasekho sekusela abantwana, and the next generation is not buying into, is very much individual. It
is. I can start by being kind.
Yes.
And you choose to be kind. It's an intention. You wake up today and you say, I can choose to be a mean person, or I can choose to be a good person. You haven't done the job.
But you're throwing yourself a 50th birthday.
That shade that is coming, I feel it. I swear. We are Winnie Mandela, and Winnie Mandela is us. Her strength was one of her biggest strengths and her biggest threats.
Apparently, it's very, like when we grew up, it was not abnormal for you to be disciplined by another mother on the road. You know what I mean? It would be, and you would listen to them. Apparently, these days, somebody would be like, you said what to my child?
Yeah.
How dare you say that to my child? Where do you get off saying that to my child? So there's that disintegration of community. So if I can't kuza your child, why would I then give you my onions?
True.
And why would I come ask for tea, or I don't know, oil or whatever? You know what I mean?
But also it doesn't even have to be that complicated. I don't think it's something that we cannot do. It is easy for us to get back to that. And I think I can start by being kind.
Yes.
And you choose to be kind. It's an intention. You wake up today and you say, I can choose to be a mean person, or I can choose to be a good person. Whether even towards yourself or towards someone
others.
Else.
Yeah.
When you wake up, it's a decision that you make. Is today going to be a lovely day? Yes, it will be. Yes, I'm going to get to some store, or I'm going to go to a doctor. I made my appointment for 9:00. But the person who walked in at 8:30, their problems are many that they need an extra 15 minutes of your time. Now it eats into your time. Are you going to throw a fit? Or are you going to say, you know what? I'm sure there's a reason why the doctor is taking long. The person that went in before me must have serious issues that need to be looked at. So it's
so wise. Right?
Yeah, like
that's, you know what I mean. Like it's you make it sound so easy. But it should be that easy because it's a choice. You then decide, am I now going to throw a tantrum, or am I going to be more understanding, or maybe I should leave because my next appointment.
Yeah, and then you can reschedule. If you can reschedule. But right now it's all about me. What I want, what I can get, how much I can get. That is why we've got people who, instead of taking the government money and delivering the services that they bid for, they take their share first.
Yes.
Because they think about themselves. It's all about being selfish, but now people don't understand that.
You haven't done the job.
You haven't done the job.
But you're throwing yourself a 50th birthday. And
that shade that is coming, I feel it. I swear, it hit me right here.
I'm not done. No, it's just settled.
Yeah,
you haven't done the job. People have literally died.
Yeah, but
people are sick.
Exactly
people are dying. People are getting sick because of water. But no.
Yeah. So we've got people who choose to be dishonest. Who choose to be...
And it is a choice. I want us to make it very clear. It is a choice to be dishonest.
You choose to be dishonest.
It doesn't happen to you.
You choose to not be a person of integrity. You pick that. You say, okay, I'm choosing to be dishonest. I'm choosing to be a person of who doesn't have integrity. And I choose to be a liar. And I choose to be a cheat. And I'm choosing to be a thief.
Yes, a thief.
Basically. And now you want to deal with someone who just stole 50 rand off a train?
Brutally.
Brutally.
Very
People
brutally.
get stabbed for 5 rand, for 10 rand. And yet, just because people who steal more money are more sophisticated, then it's and we forget that.
And admired.
Yeah, and we admire the thievery.
Yeah, the cars they drive, the pretty women they're with.
Yeah.
They are admired. It's man. Like I just want to know, with such people, which community they belong to, and when they go back to their communities, how are they received?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what I mean? Because how are you received? Do they clap for you and say, "Hey, man, you've made it," even though we know?
You know, there's a term that a lot of people love using on social media. I mean, it's always been there. Breadcrumbing.
Mm-hmm.
It's when I have 50 million.
Yeah.
Okay. And you need 50,000.
Okay.
Okay. But because I know I can give you the 50,000, I cannot give you 50,000. But I'll give you 15 or 20,000. Okay. Just so that I kind of covered you, but you're not really, really covered.
Mm-hmm.
And then you end up holding on to me because somehow you're thinking
there could be more.
There could be more. The little that's going to fall off your 50 million table might just land on my lap. And a lot of people do that. I mean, whether in relationship, at work, it doesn't matter. But we have people who thrive on that. You know, I know your child needs 20,000 for education or to go travel and learn something. It's a scholarship. They pay this and this, but they need 20,000 to pay a deposit, whatever it is that might be a need.
And it is 20,000. It's a definite number.
It's a definite number, right? I can give you the 20,000, but if I give you the whole 20,000, then you're complete. You're on your way. But let me just give you 10 so that you are close, but you're not there, and then you keep.
And then I'm still beholden to you.
Yes. It's just
what's in it for you? It's for me to. Hey, it's a new societal concept.
Yeah.
So is it a way of making sure that you have enough people that owe you favors?
It's like you're saying, listen, I might not have given you everything, but I did something.
Yeah.
Even though your something is not really, really good enough.
But it's not enough.
But it's something that no one could have done for you. So please be thankful, be grateful.
That I did this for you.
And you end up not having, you can't even fight that person.
Because they did give you something.
Yeah.
Where do you start? And then if you ask for more, I'll quite appreciative.
Yeah.
It's a catch-22.
It is.
And yet the person can afford to give you a buffoon.
Listen, there's enough for everybody. And I keep saying, there's enough wealth, there's enough money, there's enough healthcare, there is enough medication, there is enough land, there is enough everything.
But there's just no
in the world. But right now, there's enough for everyone in South Africa. And yet, because of the status quo, because of the hierarchy, because of the greed, because of the selfishness, because of the unkindness and the brutality of what people represent, we don't get that.
Okay, the counter to that would be, but this person did not find themselves having accumulated 50 million because they're giving away money for free. Have you ever heard that one? They got rich because they're stingy. That's why they're rich. They're careful with their money.
Yeah.
What would the response be?
When someone is careful with their money.
Yeah, when somebody says, yeah, but this person, the reason why they've got the 50 million is because they're not giving away 20,000 or 50,000. You know what I mean? Or it's just the nature of the beast.
Well, the challenge is that what I know is that people can save money. There's a difference between saving money and being stingy with money.
Yeah.
You can save money while still being a giver.
Because somebody said...
And the more you give, the more you get.
That's what I believe.
So maybe that 50 million is a fraction of what they're actually supposed to be having.
Yes, I believe that. I do believe. I believe the more you give, the more you get. And it has worked for me so far. But somebody said, but rich people didn't get rich by giving away money.
In a way, there's a bit of truth in that. But I know a lot of rich people who live on giving money.
Okay.
Their main cause is like they understand that it doesn't matter how rich you are, but you cannot keep everything to yourself. It's just how it is. It's just how it is. Whether you call it, they can call it a CSI project, they can write it off with the tax man, whatever. But there is a human element in you that once the cup is full and it's overflowing, it has to overflow onto others. That is the nature. That is the nature of it. And when you're not a giver, what are you? Because it's life is give and take. Life is give and take.
Oh no.
You know?
Yeah.
And I know that people who revel and enroll in a lot of gluttony, that they don't believe in giving, in uplifting.
But then is the scarcity mentality.
Yeah, because you're a hogger. You're like thinking, if I give away, then I'm gonna be poor again. And but then also being poor is not just about money. It's not just about what you've accumulated, the stuff that we see. Wealth is your heart. Wealth is your health. You know, wealth is your well-being. Wealth is how you live with other people, how you relate to other people. When your family sees you, what is it that you represent? Being a wealthy person is also knowing that you are what you are, or you are who you are because of others. Because even if you've got, whether you are a mining magnate, people worked for you, for you to get there. People worked with you. Whether it's you have a store, you have a mall, you run, you're a big entrepreneur. Whatever it is that you've done, it has taken.
Or you've got a water tender in Hammanskraal.
Oh, you have a water tender in Hammanskraal.
I'm furious about that.
I know. But at the end of the day, no man is an island. You know? At the end of the whether you can choose to work with people, or for people to work for you, or you can choose to misuse and abuse people. But anything that you do has people in it. It is entirely up to you what you're going to do with the people.
Okay, so you've just wrapped up Gyan.
Yeah, in fact, a while back. Yeah,
a while back. Okay. Yeah. Do you have anything planned for this year?
Well, I actually just started rehearsing for The Cry of Winnie Mandela. It's going to be at the Market Theatre.
Okay.
And yeah, it's based on Professor Njabulani Ndebele's book, The Cry of Winnie Mandela, which is such an intense view of Winnie Mandela, like completely. It's wow. Yeah, so we're doing that. So the play has been adapted, obviously, from the book, and it's quite interesting.
Okay.
Strong, powerful women. There's 5 of us there, and of course the guy who plays the professor. And we are rehearsing that right now.
So speaking of Winnie Mandela, you either love her, or you bring up the Stumpy incident, because that's all that I've seen.
True.
You know what I mean? There are two sides, because every time somebody like myself, who's a massive unapologetic Mama Winnie
lover and supporter,
and student in terms of her teachings, you know, and her thoughts and her speeches and everything where as far as she's concerned, whenever she comes up, I try and lap it up. You either that, or it's like, even though we now know what has actually happened from the mother of the boy himself. Why do you think she's such a polarizing figure all these years later? I mean, she passed away in 2018?
18 years.
She passed away in 2018, and I've always felt it is only then that she was truly honored. And even then, it had to be led by somebody from other sectors, not from like the organization that she suffered and fought for its existence up until Madiba came home. You know, because she was the face of that whole thing.
True.
She kept it alive.
True.
And when it was convenient for them, they discarded her.
Yeah.
And she stayed.
Yeah.
Till her last day. Even when other people left, she still embraced them as her kids. So why do you think she's such a polarizing figure in terms of our society as a whole as South Africans now?
I think, you know, one of the most cliche things that I can say about Winnie Mandela is that we are Winnie Mandela and Winnie Mandela is us, you know? First of all, Winnie Mandela is big, and I'm saying is intentionally so because she still lives beyond the grave.
Yeah.
You know, her impact, her contribution, her sacrifice, a lot of it, and has surpassed a lot of things. And I think her being a person who chose to keep the movement going, keep the name alive, keep the hopes and the spirits of South Africans to believe that better days are coming. That takes a lot of character. She is big. She is bigger than life itself. And I think what brings out the extremes, you know, I think the other person who kind of, and when I say who kind of, I use it very mildly.
Okay.
Who kind of came close to that is someone like Princess Diana. You know, where now here's a woman who is the Princess of Wales with all the stature and all of this and all of that, all the accolades and the beauty and the grace. And the next thing, she's that person who's going to risk it all and walk on some landmines and shake people's hands during the AIDS
fear phase
and all of that. And the things that Princess Diana has done, for instance, is what Winnie Mandela has done and more.
No other royal has ever had such an impact.
Winnie is fearless, brave, strong. And I think her strength was one of her biggest strengths and her biggest threats to a lot of people.
She was also a demise.
Yeah, she was that. Can you imagine? I mean, that these were like, can you imagine? I don't have an issue
with submitting.
Yes. I can be a submissive wife. My issue is that the standard of men has dropped so much.
Okay, I'm listening.
Walk with me.
Okay, I'm with you.
Okay, maybe. Okay, let me try it in a different way, so that I don't come across like I'm trashing men. I'm not. There is only one way this will end. We know what happened to the truck. It hit the bridge and boom. I've had a fantasy where when Mandela was president and Winnie Mandela was like the first lady. You know what I mean? And there are days where I feel like, honestly, she was robbed.
She was
not just discarded and neglected, but she was robbed. That was like daylight robbery of someone who has literally laid herself bare for the struggle of the country, for the freedom of the people of South Africa. And we can write books and books and books, and we can never write enough about Winnie Mandela.
One of the books I'm reading right now is Winnie and Nelson, A Love Story by, I'll tell you now. But I attended a webinar, and the author said, with the people who had read it, I was here too, and the author said he feels, because he documented, his book is about documenting their love story, and he feels, and one of the people they asked, in his view, why does he think that finally left her, you know, because it was quite clear by all accounts that he still very much loved her. And he says, as somebody who's researched this love story for many years, he says, he was first and foremost a patriarch and a Xhosa man that went to prison for all those years. And for all those years, he stayed that person in there. No growth, did not see society change, did not see women evolve, women's role. He just stayed in that spot while she outside was growing and fighting and changing and meeting other people and becoming this independent woman that by the time he came out, he thinks there was no space for him in her life anymore because
honey, she was too big.
You know what I mean? Like she remember he married her very young as well.
Yeah.
So in his mind, it was this sweet young girl, sweet young wife that he had left behind. But my gosh, did a lot of things happen in 27 years.
Yeah.
That you are shielded from to some extent. Yes, you're in prison, but you're in there. But she's outside every day dealing
every single day
with your memory and your people that are basically
keeping it alive, motivating people, giving them hope.
And she grew. He says he thinks she basically outgrew him. And by the time he comes back, as hey, it's this movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And also, I think we also underestimate the power of waiting for that long. I mean, we are such an impatient bunch of people. If we say we're going to have lunch, already when you're 10 minutes late, I'm start calling you. Are you parking? Are you here? Are you here? Now, imagine having to wait for more than 20 years for something that might or might not happen. We also forget that.
Yeah, there was no guarantee.
There was no guarantee, right?
Okay, the last 5 or so years, there was it was negotiated. It was the terms of release,
which is why it's like 20 years. Which is why I like intentionally said 20 years.
Yes.
And you're not sure whether it's going to happen or not. Then the people as well are getting restless. There were still so many unrests in the country that you had to always go out and calm people down.
Yes.
And while you're trying to also calm yourself down.
Because that's another role that she played that people undermine. There are many, many times she had to
come out and say, guys, please, we're on the right track. Everybody relax. So someone who managed to live a life like that and still be humiliated, discarded, disregarded, disrespected, whatever the case, all those words you can use. And they still managed to stand up tall. I mean, I remember it was her 80th birthday when she was gorgeous and she was wearing this blue and white suit, man. I think the party was in Cape Town at the time.
Yes.
And all these people that were invited, that were in the room. And, I mean, I there was so much tension even in her speech. When you're not sure what bomb she's going to drop.
Yes.
She always had that intensity about her. And then she still managed to be a mother.
And I know exactly.
And be a great grandmother, a good one at that. And you just didn't know what she was going to serve that day. She has always been such a mystery, an enigma, like an energy that you want to be around. But when you're around, you can't help but shake and tremble because there's so much power. Her aura, And now imagine that power, like you say, someone comes out and they're met with that kind of power.
It's a lot.
It will completely mess you up.
It would take and he was older, but he was also older, Mr. Mdala.
Yeah.
And they hadn't grown together.
And she was this ball of fire.
And she had become Winnie Mandela.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She had become Winnie Mandela, not just that. Look, anybody who's ever been in a relationship would know you have to grow together.
Yeah.
But once you've been apart and you've gone through such traumas separately, it's almost impossible to do that. One of the things, though, about her is that whatever indiscretion or whatever interactions she may have had that may have led to their breakdown, do you think we judge women? I know what my answer is to that, but do you think we've always judged women very unfairly because of an indiscretion, a moment where you lose yourself, betray yourself, give in to your physical needs?
Yeah.
We do.
We do. Always.
But it's 2024. Why is it that we're still dealing with the issue that my grandmother was dealing with, and I'm not being seen as an equal human to the man? Am I less of a human? I can't make mistakes.
Nah. It will be like that for a very, very long time. The way we judge men and the way we judge women, two different things altogether. And the expectation that we have of men and the expectation that we have of women as well, they're different. Once the role starts getting reversed in any way, we all feel like it is threatening our normal status quo of the community.
Which is to have the man at the...
Yeah, the man will always has to be on top, as always, and you can be under. It doesn't matter how strong, how hard you work, and how resourceful you are. But at the end of the day, you need to be under this thing that
this
the
veil of patriarchy.
And you know what? I'm not gonna hate on that. My thing, which is something that will always leave me single for the rest of my life.
Here we go. Here we go.
And also coming from
for the rest of my life, you kind of
it has resolved, and which is something that I always talk about even when I do my talks.
Yeah.
Okay? Coming also from a religious background, a Christian background, we always, the Bible talks a lot about submission.
Yes.
Right? A lot. And I don't have an issue
with submitting.
Yes. I can be a submissive wife. Guys, look at this face.
Yes, you can be.
I can
be. Okay, only if.
No.
There are conditions.
There are not even conditions.
Okay.
My issue is that the standard of men has dropped so much.
Okay, I'm listening.
Walk with me.
Okay, I'm with you.
Okay, maybe. Okay, let me try it in a different way, so that I don't come across like I'm trashing men. I'm not.
Yeah. No,
but here's the thing. I want to be able to submit under my man.
Yes.
Without having to crouch down. Here's an example.
Yes.
When
I write that down.
When you are driving, and we're driving on the N1.
Yes.
Okay, obviously I'm a Limpopo child. I'm going to say N1 first. When you hit, whether it's Petroport, but when you go under a bridge.
Yes.
There's a level that is a stipulated height.
Yeah.
For the bridge, because they know that cars of such height
cannot pass here.
The same way with that explosion that
may
happened
not be
in Sasolburg, right? Binoni.
It was in the Binoni box.
Remember that the truck hit the bridge because the bridge was too low.
Yeah. The sign had faded, they claimed.
Yeah, but still, why could the truck not pass? Because the bridge was
stuck.
Too low.
It was too low. Yes.
I am prepared to submit under a man that when I walk and I come under him, I need to be able to not have to take my high heels off and still walk straight.
Yes.
And fit under.
He has to be a tall man, Rami. You're a lot.
No. Okay, I know, but now I'm using it figuratively.
I know what you mean, and I'm also being figurative in saying
yes, you're right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, in terms of
we have a lot of women who obviously came with opportunities, doors being open, and now because a lot of women didn't get opportunities because they were being held back. A lot of posts were for men, and now women have now taken most of those posts, and they're thriving. And they don't just thrive at work. They thrive at work. They thrive at home. Okay, they're good mothers. They're good sisters and good friends, and they're well-rounded people. And now they find a man who just comes with the power of I am a man.
I'm a man.
Who hasn't put in the work, or who's not even prepared to put in the work. And they expect all of that to fall under
your manhood, so which we do not have a problem with.
There is only one way this will end. We know what happened to the truck. It hit the bridge and boom.
Boom.
You understand? So we need men
to rise
and be driven. And every time we talk about this, people think that everyone wants a multi-millionaire.
No, they always reduce it to their money.
Listen, I wouldn't mind a multi-millionaire. But I'm just saying.
But here's the thing. They then deduct.
Yes.
It's called reductionist deductive thinking, where you then take everything that we've spoken about as eloquently as we have. It's going to boil down to money. We have not mentioned money anywhere.
Not at all.
You know what I mean? That is the funny thing. They will hear that we said money. Who said anything about money?
Exactly.
We
want men who are not just, who are also supportive. Support me. Walk with me. Dream with me. The same things that we would do. Women are we're so intuitive, and we do things out of the goodness of our hearts. Some of the stuff that we do, it comes so naturally that, you just see, oh, you forgot to switch off this. You switch it off.
You switch off and
you carry on. There's so many things that men and women have to do to be able to be on par. Because if it is a partnership, you can't be too high and you can't be too low. You must find a particular match. And if one or the other is too high or too low, if you guys cannot work together to make sure that you guys balance each other out, it will never work.
It will never work.
But also, you don't balance each other by taking the good things and bringing them down to match the bad things.
Yes.
Instead, you fix what is bad to get to it to be elevated to the good.
I think the easiest thing for them is to kind of like force us to stay down so they can stay tall without doing any growth. It's easier for them to just do this than actually working on themselves to.
But then,
whereas Tina, every day you put in the work,
And how many relationships survive that kind of mentality?
Not actually many, but they people are miserable.
That's what I'm saying, but that is not survival.
Yeah,
survival. You need to be able to be happy. You need to thrive. Even when on days where we are in a financial crisis at home, we must still manage to wake up happy, and I'll be able to say, baby, things are gonna work out. My love, don't worry. I'm trying all my best. What else can we do? Okay, let's sell one car. Let's downscale. Let's do this. Let's do. That's a team. Those are people who have one goal in mind.
But if that is what you said you're bringing, and you're not bringing that, it also creates friction, right? Because the woman does all of these things with expectation. With okay, you're gonna bring in because you don't do anything else.
Yeah.
All you do is to bring in the money. God forbid something goes wrong and the money is not coming in. So what's holding you guys together then? Because it's not you, because you're refusing to do anything that keeps a relationship going and sustainable.
Yeah.
You just want to be the man because you are the main breadwinner.
Yeah.
Do you know that apparently there's more women than you and I would like to admit who actually transfer money from their own bank accounts into their husband's bank accounts or partner's bank accounts so that the housing...
He can pay the...
It is a true story. I spoke to a housing expert who said it isn't a legend has it story as my child would say.
It's a lot.
Just so that you can keep the
peace.
The artificial
the peace.
The peace.
Yeah. It's exactly that.
And then what are we doing? What is this?
I don't know. I don't know. Which is why at the end of the day, someone would rather be like, you know what, since the bridge that I'm looking for, I can't find it. So I'm just going to park.
But there is a tall enough bridge. There is
a tall enough bridge.
There is a tall enough bridge. I mean, there's no way.
There
has to be a tall enough bridge.
And if I mean, I'm not saying women must be Bob the Builders, but being able to work together towards a common goal, that is what partnership is all about.
Go on.
And when you've got great partnership, there are days where I'll be the one down. You must be able to pick me up. And when you are down, I must be able to pick you up. Because what hurts you hurts me. And what makes me happy should make you happy as well.
Yeah.
We are not a separate entity. And I think that is what partnership is. That is what marriage is all about. But right now, even when someone is a stay-at-home mom, and then they're not working, they're not employed, they don't have a job, because I don't want to say they're not working.
Yes, they're not working. They're working out of home.
Doesn't mean having a job.
Yes, they're working.
Work is work. So that's why I don't believe when a man says to me, "Oh no, I don't work," I'm like, no. You can work, you just don't have a job. Those are two different things. What are you working on while you're looking for a job? That's what I want to know.
So here's the thing. The counter to that as well would be, we women, we let each other down as well, because we have not agreed, and I'm not saying it's a group project. I understand that everybody is perhaps in it for themselves.
Yeah.
But the very man that does not meet the basic minimum requirements for any use whatsoever, would be gladly made a king and head of the household by another woman.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Are we so desperate to have a man that we're just willing to grab anything as long as it's a man and it's breathing and it's warm?
Father.
You know what I mean? Like, you're thinking, what? And Mtatil in the house works on him a bit. It never really ends well, because we've seen it.
Yeah.
But
it doesn't end well. It never does.
It never does. But the issue is that we ourselves are. The man knows which, if Rami says no, somebody's going to say yes.
Yeah, that's a difficult. It's a difficult
but you understand what I mean?
But
so I feel they've got no pressing need to do anything, because literally quite next door, I will be accepted as I am. In fact, they'll even tell me, here, you'll be so much at peace. She must stop bothering you.
Another woman would say that. It gets tiring, because, every relationship has a phase. There's that honeymoon phase, we are crushing on each other phase. And then when that starts coming off and it's starting to fade, we are left with each other and with our honest selves. And you realize that I can't do this for the rest of my life. And I can't do this for another month, for another week, growth is inevitable, and so is change. As soon as we have a little plant that started like this in a small pot plant, okay? Because it has life in it. It doesn't have a choice but to grow. That is the nature of it. And it will get to a point where the roots are going to crack that pot open, and you need to transfer it to a bigger pot.
And they will crack it open.
Yeah, because growth doesn't stop. And it will be cracked open. You're either going to move it to a bigger pot to allow the growth to even be more.
Or the plant will die.
Exactly. Or the plant is going to die. And those are just relationships. So when you now take a growing plant and you say, no, they don't, that side, they're not taking care of you, or whatever the case might be. And you're okay with it, you're adoring watering in this confined space. You're also killing it. You are also killing it. Yeah, no.
At least
Yeah. You see, that the problem is the at least. That means there's been a level of you that you've compromised. Because at least you've got this.
At the very least.
And that is not how life is supposed to be.
Operating on least.
We have to grow. The same way that every day the sun rises, whether there are clouds or not, it's day. The sun cannot wake up and say, I'm in such a bad mood today, I'm not showing up. No, it shows up.
Clouds or not.
And when the night comes, the night shows up as well. It can be like, let it be day for 24 hours, I'll come. No.
It will happen.
Nice. It is night. So with us as people as well, there are elements of growth that we do not have a choice but to go through, whether we like it or not. The only difference is, what do you choose to do? How do you choose to go about it? But going, it will go.
Inevitable.
It doesn't. We don't have a choice.
I get you. Before we wrap up, I want to talk about your state of the industry. I mean, you're one of the leaders.
Yeah.
You're one of the opinion shapers.
Too strong opinion.
It comes at a cost, I guess.
It does, yes.
It does come at a cost. You and I have had this conversation before. Yeah. Having an opinion in any industry.
Yeah.
In any the more opinions you have, sometimes they cost you, especially when you decide to be divergent, and you put something on the table. You and I were talking about that. How are things going? Are we moving forward? Moving backwards?
I think.
Is there growth?
You know what? I think in a way, it is growing a bit because we've had different types of streams right now. I mean, that have come in, and they've kind of like opened a couple of opportunities, especially for performers.
Yes.
Acting especially, and a bit, and music as well. I mean, now the music has evolved in such a way that now people are streaming music. You don't have to physically go and buy a hard copy CD, or you don't need to ship 20,000 copies to the US or whatever the case might be.
You can get it, yeah.
You can just get it there, and that's why we have. We're able to cross over, and the world knows so much about us, and they get to appreciate what we do. What I can tell you is that South Africa is one of the most gifted nations in the world. And I'm saying it with all of my heart because I'm egotistical like that.
Yes.
I just feel like I've seen talented people, I've seen gifted people, I've seen people who do so many things, but bottom line, this is where everything is at, and I think we don't see as much as we're supposed to because of different opportunity and access and resources, which is why I think like the Department of Arts and Culture should actually, put in a bit of.
But what more can they do? Yes, I don't know what.
The thing is that we don't have policies that govern us accordingly, and we don't have different entities within the department or within different. That's why you'll still be a freelancer. It doesn't matter. I could be on a soapy for 30 years, but I'll still be a freelance artist who's working somewhere for 30 years.
So there isn't something that protects.
There's nothing that protects artists. But the talent is there, the hunger, the ability, but we need more opportunities, and we also need our industry to be treated like any other, like. Take us seriously.
Yeah, like you do the agricultural sector.
Miss one payment when the bank is all over you. They are all over you. Nobody's like, because they're not sure if you're still gonna have a job in the next 3 years, because you don't. Our contracts get negotiated every year, and if they don't want you,
then your rates are above premium as well. You're lending rates because you are a risk.
Yeah, and also. You can be stable today, and then they give you 2 months notice to say this is it, and then now you have 2 months to come up with another plan,
revenue,
which is why you end up doing so many things, because you must have multiple streams of income. And people think, they're everywhere. Yes, we are going to be everywhere.
Because you have to be everywhere, because nothing is guaranteed.
When you open the radio, I better be here with a voiceover. When you open this, I better be here. When you go to this channel, that I must be on all of them.
You are everywhere. So somebody wakes up every day to go to work. But nobody ever says every day you go to your job.
Yeah.
And your job is to be everywhere.
I can't believe you're a doctor at Barra. Oh, no, now you're a doctor at Charlotte McClake. Now you're a doctor at Helen Joseph. No. You have to be everywhere. And I've seen when they announce that now a new show is coming up and these are the people on the show. And the
same faces.
I can't believe we see same faces. We are same faces everywhere, except that we are in a public space, and that's how you get to see.
Thank you for that.
Move across all the time, being promoted from one company to another, same post from one company to another. and nobody complains that they're doing the same job at 7 different companies.
I like the doctor example because it is a real example,
It
right?
is a real example.
We are going from your surgery, then you go consult at this hospital, and then that hospital, and that pediatric when you come back. Nobody ever says
anything.
We are everywhere.
Exactly. But when we are everywhere, it becomes such a big
issue.
You're not giving young people opportunity and all of no. I don't remember Dr. Tiny Minga retiring because now there are other young doctors coming. Oh, he's my doctor, by the way.
You just threw his name in there.
Just threw his name there.
He just threw his name in there.
Yeah, but
he's not going to retire because
he's been practicing for years.
He has,
and nobody's asking him to retire.
And so, we're dealing now with this
doctor.
We're dealing now with this unemployed doctors situation again.
Yes.
Nobody's saying, Dr. Mheng has been doing it for 40 years. So let him leave.
No.
Man.
No.
I'll never actually.
So that's how the industry is working as well. But then you also find that as you get older, when you hit your 40s, when you start hitting your 40s, there's some channels in different shows that they don't accommodate that.
Yeah.
So you can't be a lead anymore because now you're older. They want someone younger. Yeah, you either gonna come in as someone's grandmother or someone's
mother who's visiting,
or someone's aunt and all of that. Which is why you end up having. I've seen this being done a lot, especially in the US, where older women are now writing shows for themselves and casting themselves. And this is what we are supposed to do as well. You know, some of the things that some of the stuff that I'm writing now, I have to write stuff
for
myself and get my friends who are at the same age as me so that we can create work and have income.
And content that
because
is relatable to people like us who relate more to you. Like I have to understand what's happening with people in their 20s because I'm in the industry.
Yeah.
But to be quite honest, I don't find it entertaining.
You see, and also that's why we have movies that are classic right now, that because they touched on something that people didn't think of. Look at a movie like Waiting to Exhale. For the first time here, older women, divorced, widowed, never been married, cheated on, lied, whatever, but they had stories.
And they were
all there, you know. And a show like How Stella Got Her Groove Back, for a second, they were like, oh, look at a 40-something-year-old woman who's now going to find herself. That's where we live. Those are the lives. And we also forget that these are the actual breadwinners.
Yeah.
You know? These are the women who are working hard. They pay their way, and they're raising families, and they are like the
What I like about that type of woman is that they've got this income. Disposable income. They've been working long enough.
Exactly.
They're taking holidays. They're looking after themselves. They're doing their hair. They're shopping. They're not worried about. They're doing everything. An example that I like is the Reese with the Spoon one, where she was told, and she went and wrote she produced a show, Pure Little Lies, White Little Lies.
Yes, that one.
Brilliant.
Exactly.
Brilliant storytelling about suburbia and women over 40.
Yeah.
Real issues, you know. And
I mean, what's that other one? That's that. I mean, Sex and the City was kind of
Sex and the City, yeah.
But I also like the one with Wisteria Lane with the apple, the housewives. Desperate Housewives. Yes.
Desperate Housewives.
Yeah. But in South Africa, it is difficult for us to get those kind of shows that tackle older women issues, because it's easy for a 26-year-old, the story, obviously, in the story where this woman is 26-year-old.
It's because they didn't want to put in sex scenes. I'm going to say it. There's too much sex. Yeah. It's annoying. It's not normal.
It is not normal.
It is not normal. Like how do you? No, it's abnormal. It is grotesque. It is,
But also, sex scenes don't have to be that in your face kind
but
of.
But for some reason, that is what people think.
Yeah, but then also you can insinuate. You know, you can just.
Yeah, I don't have to see all that.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna be kissing in the lounge and then we stand up, you pull me by the hand.
That's it.
I know exactly what's going to happen after that.
There's
but
this
also,
need to really...
Yeah, but also don't disrespect your audience. Because what keep what keeps people or the audience glued to shows is because you leave them room for imagination. They start writing their story. They can't wait to see what's going to happen the following day because they think this is how it's going to go, but then it goes the other way. So you must have respect for your audience and trust them to embrace your story without having to say A, B, C, D, E. You don't have to lay it all out there.
Is it maybe because the attention span apparently has been over time is reducing and apparently the attention span of a 22-year-old is 6 seconds. If you don't get them within 6 seconds, you've lost them.
But then in fact that is actually a more effective way of trading someone's attention span. You have to leave me wanting more. You lead me on.
Yeah,
wonder. Me, coax me, like entice me. That's what it is.
I don't remember the last time I felt like I have no idea what's going to happen next.
We as much as sometimes we underestimate the power of our audience, we are not dealing with stupid audiences. They can put the two and two together. They can.
As they have.
Involve them. As part, don't just feed them and leave them there to eat whatever you're serving. Leave them to have to dream about it, to wonder about it. And I think once you're able to tell a story like that, then the audience kind of respects what you're giving them because they feel involved as well and they feel included.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Let's wrap up by talking about you being the hottest grandmother. I know. I didn't like. Are you really somebody's grandmother?
And yes, I am. I am a grandmother. And you know what? I'm a mother of 3 girls, right? And all my 3 girls are completely different in so many ways. These are 3 individuals who grew up in the same house, but their dynamics, they're gifted in different ways. Yeah. They're opinionated in different ways. And I've also mothered them differently. Gifule's experience, Tuntateng's experience is different, and Botelo's experience is different. From Gifule's and Tateng, right? But I also feel like now when you become a grandmother, those ones, it's like, when you're learning, when you're like trying to put in pepper, then you taste like, it needs more salt. Yeah. I think that's what you get when you're being a mother. Yeah. But now when you're being a grandmother, you've perfected the recipe.
Yes.
Do you understand?
I can imagine.
Now here's this little person who thinks the world of you. I mean, Kaya thinks I'm the bestest person in the world. And she is so jealous. Every time I want to talk to Gifule, don't talk to my grandmother. And Gifule said, but that's my mother. No, she's not your mother. She's my grandmother. And that is why I'm like, if Gifule tells me something like, you share my poor child, and then Kaya picks it up and she's like, oh, do you want to talk to your poor child? But she's such a joy. I think it's such a beautiful experience to kind of do it again, even though it is not my child, but you get to perfect and give more love, give more time.
You've got more time.
With the kids, you are busy running around
as well. Exactly.
And
you found yourself. You're more you than you were with the parent.
And it also shows growth. It's growth as well, because now I have a child who actually has a child, and that child is connected to me.
That's amazing.
And it's like an opportunity to just. It's like God loving you one more time, and just giving you this grace and this opportunity to love someone so
one more time
perfectly and so effortlessly, just one more time. Because you were running around your mother. Forgot the Scarcity. The other one needs money for CVs. The other one needs money for that. And then you're running around. You're still hustling. You're trying to shoot. You're trying to do your theater here. You're trying everything. At the time, I'm still finding myself, because people forget that when you have a child, you become mother because you bore the child, right? But the experience of mothering, it doesn't matter how many books you read. It doesn't matter how many people you observed. It is still a first-hand experience.
Very personal
for you.
one.
And even when you have a second child, they come with their own different things. You can't say, I did it like this with this one, I'm going to do it
follow
like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. There's no formula. So now when you have a grandchild, you're like, come on, I've done it 3 times. Let's see. Let me try this trick. Let me try that one. Let me try that one. And that's what I'm saying. It's like God loving you one more time. Say, okay, fine. You did well, but this time it's just time for you to indulge and bonus and enjoy yourself. And I think it's one of the bestest gifts ever for me to be a grandmother to such an amazing girl. She's so intelligent. She's so clever. She talks a lot. She loves music. She loves dancing. She loves asking so many questions. And she can't wait to go to school. And, she's been learning. We've been kind of homeschooling. And I watch how I mothered. Then I watch how Kifule mothers. And she's doing such an exceptional job of it. I'm like thinking, I wasn't that kind of a mom, but she's doing so well, She's got amazing parents. I mean, her father as well. Africa is just like one of the most amazing fathers I've ever come across. They give everything. They give their all towards her. And she is such a happy child. And even her aunts, she just loves everyone. And then even my sisters, she calls them Coco Tiri, Coco Julie. It's everyone. And then my nieces and nephews, she still calls them Uncle KG, Uncle so-and-so. And she is just a blessing.
I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you. Yeah, you're very happy, and that makes me so happy. Thank you.
Oh, what a time.
Yeah, right? You see, nice morning visit. Yeah. Thanks for popping in. I really appreciate you.
Thank you so much. I love you too. Thank you for one more time.
One more time.
Sit down and just talk with you. I love it.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.